Tron 3 is moving forward. Here's everything we know so far. Folks, our long national nightmare is finally over. Wait, sorry, not that one. I mean, stop being selfish and wear a mask. I'm talking about our other national nightmare, the absence of a Tron 3, which is now apparently happening, as opposed to not happening. On Monday, Deadline reported that after spending roughly a decade turning it on and off again to see if it's working, Tron 3 is seemingly back on. Disney reportedly tapped Lion Helmer Garth Davis to direct the film, and everyone's favorite 30 Seconds to Martian Jared Leto to star in and produce the movie. Now, this news confirms what we reported back in early July, based on reports from the Disney fan site The Diz Insider, right down to the Jared Leto of it all. Nerdist independently confirmed Deadline's report, and you can read more about that on Nerdist.com. But for those of you who just spit out your coffee or whatever you were drinking after hearing the words of Jared Leto, well, sorry about your laptop, and also, I don't know, you shouldn't be surprised. Jared Leto's been involved in sequel talks for Tron since 2017, so this shouldn't come as news necessarily. So overall, this does sound like great news for Tron fans, but you might not want to fuel up your light cycle to do some victory donuts in the virtual parking lot just yet. Now, according to Deadline, insiders still stress a green light has not been given, and they note the film is still in development, but Davis's involvement is a push in the right direction for the future of the franchise. And for more on the tumultuous development of Tron over the years, check out Jermaine Lucier's exhaustive article about this exhausting journey over on IO9. For those of you who never paid a visit to Flynn's arcade, let me explain. Tron began in 1982 with a film of the same name starring Jeff Bridges as Kevin Flynn, a software engineer turned arcade owner who faces off against a renegade AI when he hacks into his former employer's mainframe. What follows involves Flynn getting sucked into a digital world known as the Grid, where he partakes in a virtual motorcycle-based blood sport and joins the battle between programs and the system. Now, despite its acclaimed at the time special effects, the film was not a hit when it first came out, but in the years that followed, it amassed a major cult following, culminating in 2010's Tron Legacy, which featured a killer Daft Punk score, a weirdly smooth Jeff Bridges, and even more deadly gladiatorial games in a massive virtual world. But more importantly, Tron Legacy made bank at the box office, earning $400 million worldwide, and inspiring a theme park ride at Shanghai Disney that looks way cooler than I would have expected. But apart from the seriously excellent Elijah Wood starring Tron Uprising animated series, hope of a true cinematic sequel always seemed less likely than someone using Bing of their own free will. Tron 3 was officially scrapped in 2015, leaving fans to sift through reports that Disney wanted to reboot the Tron franchise entirely, while others like Tron Legacy director Joseph Kosinski talked about a true sequel called Tron Ascension, which apparently is going to feature the digital denizens of the Grid bleeding into our world IRL. And previous reports claimed that Leto is going to play a character known as Ares, who is apparently integral to the plot of Ascension in a now scrapped version of that Tron 3 script, but whether or not that's still in the cards remains to be seen. Similarly up in the air is whether or not characters like Garrett Hedlund's Sam Flynn or Olivia Wilde's Quora would return for this sequel. And also, and maybe most importantly, we don't know whether or not Daft Punk would return to score this movie as well. Tron fans are pretty used to disappointment, though. For example, back in March 2020, Disney scrapped their plans for a Tron series for Disney+, so Tronatics are fully prepared to be traumatized once more if and when Tron 3 de-reses before their very eyes. So keep your quarters ready, but also know that Flynn's Arcade might not be opening again anytime soon. But that said, in a year full of so much awfulness, the prospect of a new Tron, Jared Leto, or Jared Let No is something to look forward to. In the meantime, tell us, what do you think? What do you want to see from Tron 3? Who else should join Jared Leto in the threequels cast? Let's discuss in the comments below, and for all the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure that you head to Nerdist.com.